Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. So, since I did a why am I going back to the United States, I figured now that I'm in the United States and I'm leaving again after I planned to stay long term. I mean, it has been kind of long for me. So, in case you're watching this out of context, which is most likely, sorry about that. Let's see. So today is November 10th, 2020. And I've been back in the United States after 10 years abroad, in almost 10 years abroad, in March. I came back to the United States in March. The United States had just begun to shut down for COVID-19. Um, the world has watched the way that the United States has or has not handled the disease. The country has, the racial tension has finally come to a head. We've just had election and well, I don't even know if the results still are official. There's been a lot going on in 2020. I was coming back to the United States regardless. I did a video on why I'm going back to the United States. And now I'm leaving, and I don't know if where I'm going is where I'll stay, but I'm really sure I have no desire to come back. I can't say for sure that I won't come back, but I have no desire to come back. So why am I leaving this time other than all those things that I just said? So the reason I was coming back was meaningful relationships and being close to the people that I've known the longest and love. I don't have any blood family, so I've always considered long-term friends to be like my family. And so this video is really about that. Just because you've had a relationship for a long time doesn't mean you're going to have that relationship forever. Granted, you could still love the person. It doesn't mean you don't love them. So really this video is about not every relationship is meant to last forever. And let me know in the comments below if you disagree. Everyone is different. I've been alone most of my life. There are two different types of personalities really in the world. There's only two types. And these are the two that are really important relationally. If one who is the opposite gets with somebody who is the other in a relationship, it could be quite difficult. Well, and it's not that I like it to be this way. This is just how I have historically been. I'm a self-sufficient person. I believe in doing everything myself. Some people have been with a unit their entire lives, so they rely on the family unit or need the unit to succeed and feel whole and feel happy. These are very, very two different types of people. So it may be that the person who is the family type disagrees wholeheartedly with what I'm about to say, and that's okay too. So I don't have any blood family. I have several men in the United States I've been friends with for a very, very long time. One in particular helped me manage my finances. We shared an address for the majority of the time that I've been overseas. Coming back to the United States, it's very interesting. Dating applications, for me anyways, were very successful overseas. Even in China, I went on dates that I had met on dating applications. So I came back to the United States. Granted, it was quarantine, but nobody even wanted to talk. I had a lot of trouble connecting coming back to the United States. It may be a lot to do with where I am. I'm in South Carolina. I don't know. But I've had a really hard time connecting. And so that's with new people and with old people in my life. It's been very odd and quite painful and uncomfortable. And we've discussed before that discomfort is good for us because discomfort means we're growing. And I had been comfortable for a long time, so I hadn't had any real deep discomfort in a while. So it was time. It hasn't been pleasant. It's still not pleasant. And the relationships that are growing out of my life still aren't quite all the way out, which is kind of mentally exhausting as well. So what happened? Because I talked to somebody that I talked to overseas, and they were like, wow, what happened? Because I have always spoke very fondly of these people, and I still speak fondly of them. We're not enemies or anything. We've just grown apart. We've just grown apart. I'm a different person. You've got to remember, if so, this vlog or whatever isn't about my life story, but I began a very different person. I was homeless for a long time. I spent a lot of time in the street. And as I grew up, I was still spending a lot of time in the street. Not that you could tell by looking at me now with my super square self. But I was a very different person for a very long time. And I was several very different people for a very long time. Not to say that these people are all street or anything, but these people come from a part of my life when I was very different. And not necessarily street, but just very different. I was very different in the time when I met these people. And they're the same. And I'm sure if you ask them, they would say no, that they're not. But as I reflect on them, I have grown in ways that I want people around me to have grown as well. So I have a couple of female friends that have really, really like, and we are not in the same place in our elevation, but we are definitely all elevated, and it's good to talk to them. Anytime I talk to them, I feel invigorated because I feel like there is an exchange. And these other relationships, after I talked to them, it just felt like I was settling in order to not be alone. Like I was accepting something that wasn't really what I wanted. Like an actual relationship. Like, you know, sometimes when you like deal with a guy or a girl because you don't want to be alone, I felt like the same thing after I had seen any of them. That I'm just with them to fill space and not really with them because I add value to their life or they add value to my life. We're just together so that we're not alone, which to me, for me, is not right. I know some people it's okay, especially extroverted people that need people around them all the time. But for me personally, the people that I have around me, I want to be a reflection of me. And I never want someone to say, why are you friends with them? And I'm a diehard loyal friend. I also don't want to have to go to war for somebody who is not really a reflection, the kind of reflection that I want people to see when they look at me anyways. And your friends really are a reflection of who you are, who you're around. Go back and look at my video on mirror neurons. There's real science behind that whole saying, you lay with dogs, you get fleas. There's real science to that. Our brains actually mimic the brains of the people that are around us. And I want to be around people who are a favorable reflection that I can be proud of and that are proud of me. And again, not to say that I don't love these people. I do. I still love them. But it's time for these relationships to change to something else. Maybe not completely in, but definitely change to something else. So what? Oh, I don't have my necklace on. So what now? I'm lonely. I'm a little more lonely in the United States than I was overseas, and someone told me that. Someone in one of my overseas teachers groups told me that she was more lonely in the United States, and I totally get it. I am more lonely in the United States, and yes, there's a lot going on here, and I won't get into the politics of the United States. So politically, there's a lot of reasons I want to leave as well. But for me personally, it's about the connections that I thought that I had here and that I needed here. I don't have and I don't need. So I might as well escape the chaos. There is different kind of chaos in other places, but the emotional baggage here is just too much for me to handle. And as I meet people where I am, we'll deal with that trickle down instead of dealing with it all at once. It's been very emotionally exhausting to be stuck here. It's been a lot to deal with. It's been a lot. So if you've been sending love and support, thank you. It's not been easy. So I'm going to go ahead and go now. As always, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. I'll see you next time.